Coming up on After the Whistle, high school spring sports are just getting started.
Plus, a former Lady Lion returns home as the new head coach.
And a look at Penn State men's hockey gearing up for their start of the NCAA tournament.
We are absolutely thrilled to be in the tournament.
Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle. Our crews traveled around the area to bring you coverage of high school lacrosse, softball, tennis, and more. I'm Clara Slowinski.
And I'm Elliot Insko. And we have the latest on Penn State football spring practices. All that and more coming up on After the Whistle. Our game of the week takes us to a Tuesday night showdown between two undefeated lacrosse teams, State College and Carlisle. It's a beautiful evening for some lacrosse here as we spring into action, starting with Trey Cole weaving around defenders and putting State College into the lead early. Beautiful shot there by Trey Cole to beat the goaltender low. Later in the second quarter now, Carlisle's Dominic Bowman evens the score at 2 apiece. Another great low shot, something that goaltender's going to have to work on in practice. Jumping into the second half now, Little Lions' Luke Ladrito picks up the loose ball and deposits it to give State College the 11-3 lead. Luke Ladrito now again finishing off the scoring for the night with a wraparound goal. State College defeats Carlisle 15-3. State College moves on to 2-0 on the season and will face Chambersburg tomorrow. Carlisle moves to 1-1 and will also play tomorrow versus Cumberland Valley. Our Game of the Week reporter, Liana Tiamzin, was there. Liana, what did you see?
Well, Elliot, State College High didn't just win Tuesday night. They made a statement. The Little Lions pulled away from Carlisle in the second half, proving their ability to be dangerous this early in the season.
State College High held their second game in the season against Carlisle at home, and both teams were looking to make a statement. Their dominant win against Carlisle sets us up an important early season test and a chance for the Little Lions to prove that their ability to get the ball rolling translates into a continued success.
Tonight, the State College Little Lions face against Carlisle in a very dominating second half, with 3 different players with 3 different hat tricks.
The beginning of the game, Carlisle showed their A game and presented a challenge and saw their opportunity. While Trey Combs and Reese Tyson both put up 2 on the board, Carlisle, Jack Shope, and Dominic Bowman fight back and also earn 2 goals for their team. The first half of the Little Lions saw their pace. With only 4 up on the board, Carlisle finding cracks through State College's defensive structure. But everything changed the start of the second half as State College put on a dominant 3-player performance to jumpstart their attacking again.
Grant turned it on in the second half with the face-offs, and then our offense just, like we talk about, tempo and pace all the time, and I think they got settled in and started taking some good shots.
Trey Combs and Reese Tyson continued to set the tone offensively by adding a collective 5 points.
We were all playing really tight, so we just all came together and just said relax.
Luke Ladrito shows up and shows how it's done in the second half as he puts up 6 on the board.
Just readjusting at halftime and then bring up the tempo to move quicker.
Carlisle struggles to keep up with the momentum and only scores 1 more goal in the rest of the game. By the end of the whistle, what once looked competitive ended in a commanding 15-3 win.
State College's energy was electric, but now the question is, can they keep it going and stay undefeated? Back to you, Clara.
We look to Altoona's field house as the Mountain Lions host the Chambersburg Trojans on the volleyball court. Altoona's getting ready to go. They're getting hype. In the first set, a bump over to Maxwell Kuhn tips it over out of Carter Blau's reach, but Chambersburg starts off with the lead. The Trojans would bring tough defense. Chris Manea's single block denies this attempt. Altoona would switch the script though, with Chambersburg unable to get this set point. Moving over to set 2, Chambersburg Joe Allen would serve a spunk with 2 service aces in a row. Huge for those servers.
Just a huge serve there.
But once again, it wouldn't be enough. A long drive by Kuhn would send the Trojans scrambling. Altoona wins set 2, 25-21. Chambersburg would take set 3, but Altoona would go on for the 3-1 victory. Chambersburg will be back home tomorrow against Central Dauphin East, while Altoona will be away at State College.
With our first ever tennis highlights, we are headed to the courts as the boys team for Lower Dauphin takes on State College. Starting lineups commence here at center court before the matches. The teams are shaking hands and getting ready to play. Starting with doubles here, State College's Jude Cessna serves. Lower Dauphin rallies it back. Jude again, but Ian Lane with the quick reflexes earning the point. On court 2 for singles, Eric Liu and Riley Beer make it look easy, sending the ball back and forth. Beers hits it too short, and Liu scrambles to get there in time, and he does. But it is Beers who sends it out of bounds. Anthony Bruno serving to Evan Zhang now, who anticipates a close rally and plays D. But Bruno will slam it to the back of the court, securing the point. Staying with these same singles, Zhang with the serve and rally until Bruno has the flea flick of the racket, making Zhang run to get it. Now it's just back and forth until Bruno puts the nail in the coffin. What a play there. State College win 2 out of the 3 singles matches and sweep the doubles. They continue their undefeated season. Coming up, we'll have highlights from baseball and softball as the weather is getting warmer.
But first, some scores from around District 6.
Welcome back to After the Whistle. District 6 action continues to roll with more spring sports starting up.
We'll take a look at some more volleyball, baseball, and softball. Let's go over to boys volleyball. The Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders hosted the Derry Trojans for their first match of the season. BG last year only had 1 match win to their name and look to bounce back this season. Early in set number 1, it's Derry setting the tone strong with a strong hit out the gate from Caden Marsh. Trojans up early. Later in the set, BG is crawling back, and here comes Justin Jang, who can't get it the first time, but comes back with the block to close the gap. Look at that passion from those players. Really getting into it there. Now in set 2, it's a great rally between both teams, and look at this beautiful save by John Caron, followed right into the kill from Jaden Beeman. Wow, right in that weak spot. Now down a set in the 4th, the Marauders trying to keep the ship alive, and here's Griffin Chatwalkie. Couldn't get it the first time, second time's a charm on that hit. He finished with 17 kills, impressive for that player. However, it would not be enough for BG in the end. Derry went on to win the match 3-1 in a very competitive match to the end. Derry starts their season strong 1-0 and plays Steel Valley for their first game. BG moves to 0-2, and they'll continue to look to get the win on the rest of the season tonight. At 7 against Forest Hills, shout out Jay Cole.
High school baseball is officially in full swing as the Huntington Bearcats take on the Bellefonte Red Raiders. Starting in the bottom of the 1st here, where Bellefonte infielder Evan Mattern ropes this one into right, sending his teammate Braden Fortney across the dish. After that, the Red Raiders would make it 2-0 through 1 inning of play. Bottom of the 3rd now, Mattern at the plate again, and he ropes this one as well to the other side of the field for a stand-up double. Underrated play here, though, by the outfielder to stop the bleeding. As Mattern sinks into second there, despite the great start to the inning, the Red Raiders would ultimately get shut down by Huntington pitcher Matthew Gutschall, who retired the next 3 batters after the leadoff double. Bellefonte's bats proved to be too much for the Huntington Red Raiders, as the Red Raiders would take the game with a final score of 5-3. Mattern and the Red Raiders will look to keep their bats hot as they host DuBois next.
In more baseball news, Bellwood-Antis boys baseball hosted Penn Valley in their season and home opener yesterday. Catching Bellwood-Antis lacking is Carter Shuey, who steals home. Pressure is necessary after the Blue Devils scored 6 in the bottom of the 1st. Huge half inning for them. Stealing catches up to the Rams, though, with Bellwood-Antis catcher throwing out Isaac Harpster to end the top of the 2nd inning. It's Alex McCartney who skies this one over shallow center, and the Rams unable to make this dive. This adds on to Bellwood's lead 7-3. A bases-loaded K for Parker Feltenberger keeps the damage to just 1 run in the inning. But up to bat, Gavin Naudo grounds to the pitcher, flips over to second, and a 1-4-3 double play ends the inning. The Blue Devils continued to add pressure at the plate, winning 13-3. Bellwood-Antis is currently playing away at PO, while Penn Valley will await their home opener on Friday.
Phillipsburg Osceola softball started its season with a coaching change. According to WTAJ, the PO school board accepted the resignation of the head coach and 4 other members of the coaching staff due to allegations of inappropriate behavior. The team played its season opener yesterday, losing 10-0 to Bellwood-Antis in 5 innings. Coming up, we'll have all you need to know about Penn State men's and women's hockey postseasons.
But first, take a look at upcoming games around District 6.
Nittany Lion fans have had a lot of excitement as the spring seasons are just getting started.
And the winter seasons are ending. With one Frozen Four ending, another is on the horizon. Penn State men's volleyball or hockey clinched their NCAA post-season appearance as they look to face Minnesota Duluth on Friday. Our reporter Kennedy Rivers is at Pagula Ice Arena with the report.
Thanks, Clara. This Nittany Lion team has been able to overcome so much adversity with losing key players due to injury, just like Charlie Serrato. Although we saw Serrato return to the ice earlier this month, they also lost their captain, Dane Doyak. And this led for people like Aiden Fink to step up into that leadership role and lead the team as alternate captain due to Doyak's injury. Now, Coach Godowski said in a press conference yesterday, with all these injuries, it's just pushing the team to do more.
With the numbers that we've had, it's actually on the other side of that. We have a number of players that, because of a lack of our lineup, have to double shift in practice.
From one season ending to a postseason just beginning, the Penn State women's ice hockey team got to host their very own first Frozen Four appearance, and they got to do it right on their home ice. Our reporter Ali Wadzowski has the latest.
The Frozen Four came to Happy Valley last weekend, and for the first time, Penn State had home ice advantage. Despite the overtime semifinal loss, the Nittany Lions had something else to be cheering for. Their single-game attendance record was shattered, with a record 5,176 fans. This was well over 3,000 more than their last.
It wasn't just about the wins on the score sheet or the points, but we grew women's hockey in Hockey Valley.
And the Frozen Four isn't the first time that the team set their attendance record this season. The Beaver Stadium game set it first, with a total of 1,838 fans.
With the attendance record for the women's Frozen Four being broken right behind me, the effects go well beyond just filling the seats for both the teams inside as well as the league as a whole.
For the team, it was louder, communication was harder, and the atmosphere was like nothing they've ever seen before. But it also meant more ticket sales, vendor revenue, and press. How can the team replicate this next year? Head coach Jeff Campersall thinks the answer could be in their scheduling.
I think we can maybe look into maybe arranging game times or whatnot.
This season, Penn State played 10 out of their 14 regular season home games before 5 p.m., something the men's team did not do once. Later game times could also mean that more of the community and Penn State students could come to games.
So if we could just inspire one girl to want to play hockey, or anybody for that matter, then we did our job here.
Reporting in State College, I'm Ali Winskowski.
Thanks, Ali. That's all we have here in Pagula. Back to you guys in the studio.
From the ice to the mat, the Penn State Nittany Lions went over to Cleveland this weekend for the NCAA Wrestling Championships. The blue and white finished the tournament with 4 champions. Mitchell Messenbrink and Levi Haynes both won their second individual titles, and Josh Barr and Luke Livedall both won their first, with all 4 Nittany Lions finishing their season undefeated. Penn State won their 5th consecutive national championship and broke their team record they broke last year, scoring 181.5 points.
It's day 2 of spring football practice, and yesterday, head coach Matt Campbell had his press conference to open the spring practice season. He says the transition period for coaches, families, and players has been a lot, but he's happy with how much progress has been made.
It's been a whirlwind, but it's been a really great whirlwind, and I feel like we continue to push forward, which has been positive.
On the court, the Penn State women's basketball team officially has a new coach. Former Lady Lion Tanisha Wright was introduced as the 7th head coach in program history on Monday. She graduated from Penn State in 2005 after going to 4 NCAA tournaments, and also playing at 19 years in the WNBA before getting into coaching. Wright takes over for Carolyn Keeger, who was fired after 7 seasons, and says her experience as head coach of the Atlanta Dream will help her in a new role.
What I've learned is how important it is to really build those relationships, how important it is to really dive in and allow the athletes to know how important they are as people and not just players.
Penn State softball looked to get their first win in Big Ten play against Wisconsin on Saturday. The Nittany Lions getting each other hyped up before the first pitch. They got to be ready. After a leadoff double by Emily Bojan, Wisconsin would start the scoring after an error by Gabby Gradishar at first base. Wisconsin up 1-0. Penn State would then tie the game, and then a double by Allison Oneacre would bring in 2 runners. But despite Penn State's best efforts, the second one would be called out at the plate.
Looks close to me.
Staying in the first, Jordan George steps up to the plate with the bases loaded and would blast one for a grand slam, and her first as a Nittany Lion. Penn State now up big, winning 6-1, and her teammates await her at home plate to celebrate this special moment.
That's got to be one of the best feelings in sports.
Love the blue and white celebratory there. Wisconsin would try to make a comeback, but freshman Brianna Hannock would hit her second home run of the day to seal the game and tie up the weekend series. The Nittany Lions picked up their first Big Ten win, beating the Badgers 14-8. Penn State would lose Game 3 of the series and travel to Rutgers this weekend.
Penn State men's lacrosse has never won against Maryland at home. Could they change that this weekend? Finally, a beautiful day in Happy Valley, and lacrosse took full advantage. Already up 1-0, John Jude Considine joins the action as he finds the ground ball after his shot was blocked and goes to goal. Penn State now up 2-0 in the first quarter. Later in the first now, Maryland takes advantage of a man-up situation, getting it to Braden Urksa, who whips in a nice bar-down shot. Now Mac Hobbs with it, who gets the pass from Kyle Lehman and sneaks one into the top quarter. Just a beauty of a goal there. After a dry third quarter for both teams, Maryland long pole AJ Larkin lets it rip and opens the fourth frame with a score. You always gotta love a pole goal. But the Nittany Lions would run away with it, getting the last 3 scores of the game to win 10-6, marking their first ever win at home against the Terrapins. The Nittany Lions will go on the road to face Ohio State this Saturday.
Penn State athletics and high school sports have been busy.
Absolutely, and our reporter Aaron Riley is breaking down some of our biggest moments.
With another week, spring sports are starting to heat up. Let's swing into this week's top 3. Kicking it off, we have a matchup from State High and Lower Dolphin. For State High, it's Evan Zhang with the serve, and despite the Lower Dolphin Anthony Bruno's best efforts, Zhang would hit a sneaky right-hand shot to get the point. For our runner-up, we head to Bishop Guilfoyle versus Derry. This set was an intense rally until number 15 from Derry, Jaden Beeman, spikes it to end the rally and get the point. And for our top play, the bases are loaded. Jordan George would crush it over the center field wall for the grand slam. This swing would be the junior's first home run and her first grand slam as a Nittany Lion. What an amazing way to get the game going on a perfect day. That's all we have for our top 3 plays of the week. Back to you, Elliot.
Thanks, Aaron. Before we end, everyone's favorite spring activity is back at Medler Field. Last night was the first Dollar Dog Night of the 2026 season, and despite the weather, it was a success, with over 2,000 people in attendance and 6,350 hot dogs sold. Stay tuned in the next coming week for when our very own reporters compete to see who can eat the most hot dogs in one game.
That's all for this week's episode of After the Whistle. Tune in next time for more District 6 and Penn State sports coverage. I'm Clara Slowinski.
And I'm Elliot Insko. For updates about the show, follow us on social media at ATWPSU. We'll see you right here next week on After the Whistle.